Welcome to the Hand in Hand Parent Club podcast. I'm Emily Murray, a hand in hand instructor and a mom of two.
I'm Kathy Gordon, a single adoptive mom of a now young adult son, a hand in hand instructor, and we're both moderators of Hand in Hand's awesome membership program, the Parent Club.
Every week, we'll be answering a parenting question. You'll hear about Hand in Hand Parenting's powerful, respectful parenting tools. We'll share how they help you work with your child's feelings, especially when their behavior gets hard or confusing.
You can feel good about using these tools. They've brought warmth and connection to our own families and to many thousands of families around the world who are using the hand-in-hand approach.
That's why Hand in Hand and the Parent Club exist. We're here to support you and your family so you have more good, sweet, fun times together. So our question this week is, why are they so clingy and needy after we've just given them attention? So there's there can be a sense sometimes as parents that like this transaction should occur where I give you all the attention I have available right now, and you happily receive it and then go on with your day and go play independently and do your own thing.
And behave.
Or right, just behave. Like, I just poured in all this attention and you're still misbehaving. So we want to dig into this phenomenon that is common and normal and something we hear about all the time in the Parent Club. Why does this happen? Why is it that they can't just take that connection and attention and playfulness that we've just given and use it to go move on with their day and play? So sometimes it's that they just kind of have a buildup of tension, they have a buildup of upset, and they kind of feel a bit like a bottomless pit. Like, you can't possibly pour in enough connection for them to have that sense of equilibrium where a child just feels at ease. So sometimes it takes a little time to kind of heal whatever cracks in their cup are there so they can really hold our attention well and use it well. But there are also times where we have to ask ourselves, were they really getting a full dose of our attention? Were they really feeling us delighting in them and who they are and what they do, which is kind of the standard of special time. Those are kind of the guidelines we go by, is that throughout that timer, as long as that timer is on, we're really just putting our blinders on to the rest of the world and focusing just on them. So
You make a really good point, Emily, about the difference between special time and like a day where you spend the day with them, but you're doing chores, you're running errands, maybe you're even running errands for them, but you're
right.
like, you're focused on the store and the clerk and what you need to buy.
It's like salt in the wound sometimes. I remember one time in particular, I was literally making a call to her doctor for an appointment for her. And that call just made her go so squirrely. And I was thinking inside, I am making a call for you. Can you pause?
Yep. One time I was taking my son to get surfing equipment, and we were going to all these different surf shops to get exactly what he needed. And then we went to go hang out with friends, and I couldn't understand why he wouldn't let me talk to the other adults, because I had just spent all this time, going for all these different surf shops looking for something that he wanted.
Right. That seems fair and logical. And I think if all of us could wave a magic wand, that's how it would work. But we get imperfect humans instead. And, we ourselves, sometimes we are busy and multitasking, or something happens and we think, oh, this is the perfect time for me to impart this important information and this perfect lesson.
A teachable moment.
Yeah, those multitasking moments and teachable moments can really crowd out their ability to feel our approval of and delight in them just as they are. They really notice when they don't have our attention. And there's one of my earliest memories of my younger child talking. It was when I had said it was special time. And I set the timer and I said, it's special time. What do you want to do? And she had picked this, toddler game. And as we were doing, I think I was only setting it for like 10 minutes, but somewhere midway through that special time, I got distracted. I think a text came through on my phone and I stopped and I looked at my phone and I was checking in with the text. And I look back and my daughter's face was just incredulous. She was like 2.5, like, really toddler. And she said, "Mommy, it's special time." And I was just like, oh, in that moment. So I said, "You are right. I'm going to reset the timer right now. Let's start over again." So they really do notice when they don't have our attention, and really early on they can notice when we aren't giving special time the quality of attention that they've come to expect.
Yeah. And just to remind our listeners, special time is one-on-one undivided attention where you set a timer for a finite amount of time. And it doesn't matter. You let them do whatever they want to do within safety and financial constraints. And the activity doesn't matter. What really matters is that you are delighting in them. And yeah, I say, when you're setting that timer, when you're giving them that time, even that towel that's screaming to be picked up over there on the floor, try to ignore that and just really delight in them. But we do want to tell you there's a little bit of a caveat to special time, which is that sometimes that this attention we give our kids, there's two sides to this coin. As Emily was talking about, you pour in your connection and then the timer goes off, and often your child is able to play by themselves. They're more flexible. They're
It can
playing
feel
better.
magical actually sometimes.
Yes, they're playing better with their sibling. But there can also be this other side of the coin where we pour in that warm connection, and that actually invites feelings. And so when that timer goes off, and that's an ending or a limit that they bump up against, then there might be a whole bunch of feelings. When I first started doing special time with my son, the timer would go off, and he would get so angry. And I was flabbergasted because, again, I was thinking, like Emily was talking earlier, I just gave you 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I just watched you play, do tricks on your skateboard, or, play I just watched you line up all your trucks. It was boring as heck, but I was just delighting in you. And now you're going to get angry. And I had such a hard time with it. And then as in this article we're going to send along with this week, what you'll find out is that what you want to do is leave a buffer of time. So let's say you have 30 minutes until you have to cook dinner. Offer 10 minutes of special time so that then you have this buffer of time in case there might not be any feelings. They might go bipping along, but just in case that there is some big feelings, you've left a little buffer of time that when the timer goes off, boy, I tell you, when I started doing this and I would listen to my son's upset about the timer going off, or that you'll get that begging, just 5 more minutes, Mom, just 2 more minutes, just 1 more minute, and that means that your attention has invited some feelings. So leave a little buffer of time for that.
I think sometimes one of the things that creeps in for me in special time is as I sense, I think special time is going to be over soon. My mind does start going to what's the next thing I have to do. And I think sometimes that adds to that kind of feelings bubble that can happen at the end of special time when they sense like we're already out the door. They're like, no, come back.
They feel you separating already, that
do.
timer goes off, and then they feel you, like your attention moving away.
Yeah. So our one small thing this week that you can experiment with, try it out, see how it works, see if it changes anything about your experience of special time, is to name it and time it like you might normally do. But but set the timer for a shorter amount of time than you have available. So if you have 10 minutes for special time, set the timer for like a quarter or a half of the amount of time that you actually have available. So you feel really spacious with your time. So that ending that the timer creates, they still sense that they have you a little bit on that other side available to them. And you can do a little stay listening possibly afterwards. So give that a try.
Yeah. So this episode, we've been talking to you about giving your attention and even welcoming the tantrum. Next week, we're going to talk about, isn't there a way to stop the tantrums and the crying? So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Hand in Hand Parent Club podcast. Please like and subscribe to hear more. And to connect with us between these episodes, come on over to handinhandparenting.org to join the Parent Club, where you can get coaching, classes, and live support.
Come join our vibrant community of parents in the Parent Club who are committed to getting the support they need to be the parents they want to become. We'd be honored to support you too. This podcast and the Parent Club are part of Hand in Hand Parenting, a nonprofit organization that supports parents all over the world. We are here for you when parenting gets hard.